And a brand new tack to try to get the Justice Department to act against Lois Lerner. We're going to see what Issa is now ready to attempt on this.
Now is the time to make a move on the IRS. That from Committee Chairman Issa. He claims the Attorney General is putting off a probe of Lois Lerner. Listen.
How long will the Justice Department not take on this case? My ranking member, Elijah Cummings, continues to say this case is over and has been saying it for more than a year. But it's amazing that until the Justice Department actually does a criminal investigation, hopefully with a special prosecutor, the American people aren't going to believe for a moment that, in fact, nobody's at fault here. This was just an accident. Some rogue people in Cincinnati, as Lois Lerner and the president would have had you believe.
More on this with Michael Warren now, staff writer, Weekly Standard. Michael, how are you? And good morning to you.
Good morning, Bill.
You say there's an event this week that could move this forward. What is that, Michael?
Possibly, and it's not on the political side or happening in Congress, but on the court side. You've got the IRS legal team who's scheduled to appear before 2 federal judges this week as part of some hearings over what happened with the IRS losing Lois Lerner's emails. They're going to have to explain to one federal judge why they didn't bring those up in the investigation that initially happened, but instead it had to be a FOIA request that brought out that these emails actually were lost or
they're in
disappeared.
Court then, is that what you're saying, Michael?
Right, and legal experts aren't necessarily clear or united on this, or whether or not this will actually produce anything, but it could keep the ball rolling a little bit. They've got another appearance on Friday as well, and they're expected to possibly try to block any evidence that might show that what exactly happened with these Lois Lerner emails.
I'm just a bit confused because all this action's been in the House hearing so far. How did it jump to federal court? Who brought that? Who forced that?
You've got 2 conservative groups that have brought these hearings to court. They're not exactly related specifically to the Department of Justice's investigation. These are separate hearings, but I guess the idea is that they could very well move the ball forward where Issa is feeling like the Department of Justice has really kind of stonewalled any kind of investigation.
Would you expect a federal judge to get more complete answers? I mean, you're under oath and there's a lot more on the line.
I think there's a real possibility, and I do think that House Republicans have kind of hit a brick wall on this. You've got a special or you've got a regular investigator at the Department of Justice who's an Obama donor. Attorney General Eric Holder doesn't seem to be moving on this, and the president's not really giving him a sense of urgency to do so. Meanwhile, you've got House Democrats who are giving cover for the IRS on this, saying the investigation's over. So it's House Republicans against the Department of Justice. It's not a very effective fight if you want to find out more.
You don't think Holder's going to move on this thing, do you? I mean, Issa's asking for a special prosecutor. I mean, based on all the signs we're seeing right now, that's not going to happen, is it, Michael?
No, I don't think so. And I think that people who care about this, who want to see more movement on this, they have to hope that there's more media attention to it. There's not a lot of media attention so far, with a few of us accepted, on what's happened here in the last several months. And I think what could happen from these hearings with these federal judges is keeping the media ball rolling, as it were, and kind of taking the politics out of it.
Yeah, that would be kind of an understatement, right? The other thing Issa suggested is that he pretty much conceded it. If you get a significant movement in midterm elections, that could move the ball forward. That seemed to suggest to me that he doesn't think much is going to happen before November or even beyond.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, and I'm a little skeptical that there could really be any sort of political undercurrents that could push this forward. It's just going to have to be, I think, a real slog to bring out all this evidence as best as they can and see where the chips fall. But there's a lot of inertia on the administrative side of this, and I'm pessimistic.
Well, just one more point on this. When the emails became public, they were gone. These files were deleted, the hard drives were crashed or burned down or whatever in that world they did with them. Right. How do you think that has cast the IRS publicly?
Well, it's not exactly a sympathetic organization to begin with, and I think it's done a lot of damage to their argument that, look, this was just a mistake that we made, and we didn't mean anything by it. I mean, nobody really trusts the IRS already. I mean, in the court of public opinion, and so I think they've really kind of damaged themselves in this by making it seem like, oh, we've just lost these emails conveniently that happen to not reveal anything bad to have happened in the IRS. So they're really sort of in trouble on this. It's just a matter of, can the media keep this story going and keep revealing more details?
Well, we'll watch for that federal judge. I mean, that will be quite interesting. Michael, thank you for your time.
Thursday and Friday.
Thursday and Friday. You got it. Michael Warren in Washington, 18 minutes past the hour.